Hi, everybody. It's Jeff and Nikki from Nightshade Nook Decor. So we are actually getting ready to oil up a butcher block cutting board. No epoxy in this whatsoever. We just kind of wanted to show you, I guess, what a normal cutting board Jeff can make.
Yes, so we never made a butcher block before, and I dug up some scraps around here and decided I would find something to work on while my epoxy was curing, and I came up with this idea, and I pretty much whipped this thing together this afternoon, and we will see how it oils up.
So this is a mixture of oak or maple and cedar?
No, not cedar.
If it's got this, if it's sketchy bench, it's cedar.
No, it's oak. Sketchy Bench was oak.
Oh.
So I believe it's oak and oh geez, I'm not sure what the other wood is. I don't know.
Guess we should have had a conversation before we
Yeah,
went live.
it might be maple.
Things not to ask.
Just not sure.
I think it was maple because I don't think we've purchased oak.
We have, just not in quite a while. But again, this was made from scraps that was laying around the shop. And I sort of laminated the oak and the maple. I started out with three maples and then went oak, maple, oak, maple, oak, maple. So
I like the dark ones in the center.
yeah, and I had a couple dark ones, so I kind of threw those in the center, and it worked out. It just seemed to work out really well.
Interesting.
So I've never made a butcher block board before, so this was my first attempt, and so far I'm pretty satisfied.
You missed a spot.
I know.
I just wanted to say that because I don't usually get to say that. I think it looks very pretty.
Yeah, it came out really well, so chances are you will probably find butcher blocks on our Facebook page coming soon.
Yeah, we were just talking about all the different pieces we could use to make some butcher block cutting boards.
Yes, we do have we have a bunch of slabs that we purchased a few years ago, and they're just too thin to use for our regular cutting boards, and they're too thin to be used for tables or anything like that. So I figured if I rip them on the table saw, I can rip them into usable pieces to glue together for butcher block boards. So chances are you will very shortly find some butcher block boards on the website.
I think that's a great idea. The video is not capturing the color of this enough too, because there are a lot of like reddish hues that are coming out. It's just some really, really pretty wood. Yeah. And I love all the different tones.
Ooh, you know what? That might even be cherry.
Oh, that would explain the red.
Yeah, I'll bet you that's cherry.
I like that you're not even positive on what it is. It's a lot of different things.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm really not sure. It could be cherry. It's definitely, these lighter stripes are definitely, and the darker ones, that's definitely oak. That's white oak.
It's pretty, and I didn't think I would like the look of butcher block. Just because, you know, people with their butcher block counters and stuff, I never liked the way they looked.
Right.
But this is pretty.
Yeah, it came out pretty good.
I approve.
You approve? I'm glad you approve.
So now this is going to be the same standard care as the river cutting boards, right? I mean, you just need to oil it.
Yeah, absolutely. You would not put something like this in the dishwasher because the steam will cause it to come apart. So the last thing you want to do is put something like this in the dishwasher. And again, you would have to keep it very well oiled, at least once a month. Oil it. If you're gonna any kind of baking where you're going to be adding flour and making dough, then you would definitely want to oil it after each time you introduce flour to it, because flour dries them out really fast.
Yeah.
And that's pretty good. We got our first coat in. Helps if you open it.
It does help if you open it. I like it. I think this is a good idea. I think people will like having the difference between the epoxy river boards and just having like the butcher block cutting boards.
Yes, and
Plus, these are a little less expensive than the epoxy ones. The epoxy ones
right.
can be a little pricey, but epoxy is outrageous
Yeah, epoxy is
price
not cheap,
wise.
so that's the reason some of the boards are so expensive is epoxy is very expensive.
Yeah, I mean, like
So
a gallon of epoxy is like $100.
so the more epoxy I pour, the more expensive the piece will be. Something like this where there's no epoxy, you're just pretty much paying for the lumber.
Yeah.
And this particular piece we made out of scraps, so it didn't really cost anything. It was
But this
just,
one is spoken for.
yes, this one is spoken for. Um, yeah, what's nice about doing this too is I can make them as thick as, if you want a thick butcher block, I mean, I could make them 2-3 inches thick. I probably wouldn't make them thinner than this because I want them to be, durable.
This seems even a little thicker than the standard river boards.
Yeah, it is. It probably is. Before I milled it, I believe it was 1.75 inches, so it's probably about at least 1.5 inches thick. So this one's pretty thick.
So now you're going to put feet on the bottom of this one too?
Yeah, I'm gonna put feet on it when it's done.
Okay. All right. I like it. I like that it still has the different textures and grains in it. I like that I'm looking at something different that's not just epoxy.
Right? Yeah, I mean
it's a nice change of pace.
yeah, I mean if so not everybody likes epoxy, so this is for that person who doesn't appreciate epoxy. So
Right. And it also brings in a better price point too for those who, are on a budget, because we know COVID's hurt a lot of people economically, us included.
yes. So here it is, guys. The first butcher block.
The first butcher block.
And I'm just gonna let this. It's pretty
I'm just
wet.
gonna.
I'm gonna let it soak it up.
There's where the colors are. I just needed to get you out of the way.
Yeah.
Wow. See, that's really, really pretty. And that right here almost looks like it's black walnut.
Yeah, I know. You know what that it could very well be red oak in the middle. The rest of it is definitely white oak, but those two strips in the middle, those could be red oak.
That's a very beautiful board.
That was made with reclaimed wood, so I really can't say. It's not like I purchased the wood. It was reclaimed.
Yeah. This is nice.
In fact, on the
You do good work.
well, thank you. In fact, on this end here, there's a screw hole here, and I was gonna fill it with epoxy, but then I thought, you know what, that's kind of cool that there's a screw hole because this was all reclaimed wood, and I said, I think I'm gonna leave that just because, it gives it some character. So there it is.
Very nice. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. We will obviously be doing more videos. We're almost done. That stove board is sitting over here. It's cured. It's got some sawdust on it from when Jeff was making the cutting board. I'm sorry, it's not cured. It's curing.
It does have sawdust on it, but it's in the curing phase, so it doesn't matter. It's nice and hard.
But we do have a couple other cutting boards and a charcuterie board that we're going to be oiling up probably this weekend, and then we have to make a couple more cutting boards, and we have an end table order that sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. Yeah, it hasn't been finalized, but it sounds like a neat idea, kind of like doing the Live Edge blue table that we had. But they want to incorporate some albums in it, so I'm excited about that. I can't wait to see what comes of that. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. You guys have a great night. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on our posts. We've been growing really quick, and we want to thank all of you for that. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Night.